Ladies and gentlemen, as I said in my previous video, I stated that it might bring you updates each and every day of these 4 days that King Mswati of Eswatini is gonna be in Ghana. King Mswati was in Tema Metropolitan Assembly today, and he was hosted by His Majesty Osei Tutu II in the Mensah Palace. He had some crazy discussions. Those videos are like an hour-long video, so I'm just gonna give you breakdown of some of the important things that we should take note of. First, he acknowledged that, hey, I'm happy, bro. I'm happy to be in Ghana, because he said he promised His Majesty Osei Tutu II in 2015. He said in 2015 His Majesty visited him in Eswatini, and he promised him that he might touch down in Ghana, bro. He might touch down and he might visit you. So he's here to honor that promise. He's here to show that, yes, I don't promise and fail. He mentioned that when he came to Ghana, which was yesterday, you know, this thing is very fascinating with the amount of things that he has learned so far. It was crazy. He mentioned that the Ghanaian community in Eswatini, they are well behaved, and he had learned a lot from the President John Dramani Mahama when he came yesterday.
To each of the regions of this country, I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
Excellency, for the great work you are doing.
John Dramani Mahama mentioned to him that I allocate funds for every region in Ghana for developmental projects. So he said, okay, he might learn that, he might apply it in my country.
I was very pleased to learn from His Excellency that actually there's always provision of funds which are always made available to all the provinces, so that the provinces can also look at how to address issues of unemployment, education, promoting a lot of industries, job opportunities for our people. So this is a very good thing which
mentioned that there are some commonalities. Some things are common. They see that, no, we are doing this. You see how they put the clothes and this thing for her. If you go to the Ashanti Kingdom, they practice that a lot. You come to the Ewe side, we practice that, but not occasionally. For them, that's what they wear every day. That's what, like, their normal attire. They know they tear suit then shade. No, they said that is from the whites, and they don't want to leave their culture. He emphasized on the fact that we should take good look at our culture, especially when it comes to languages, because he said he has seen that most Ghanaians are now learning, you know, foreign dialects. We are now incorporating Chinese and all these Basa languages even into our curriculum. But some places, the Chiefs, the Airways, the Zma, those languages, the Hausas, they are not being taught in the schools, but they are trying to incorporate Chinese and all those things. Even though we are going international, we are in a global village, we should make sure that, no, we keep that region, we make sure that we don't forget the culture, we don't forget where we come from. He emphasized on naming as well. He said, how you Ghanaian, like, let's say Elizabeth, right? The whites, they admire Queen Elizabeth so much. That's why they will name their daughters Elizabeth. So why you Ghanaian African? What you get do plus Elizabeth before you can't name your kiddie Elizabeth? At first, we used to take names from the Bible, but now no. We give our children pet names. God have mercy.
As aspirations extend beyond cultural exchange, as we have immense potential for collaboration in science, may our two kingdoms remain steadfast in their partnership. Let us embark on this journey together, not only ourselves, but for the generations to come.
Those are some of the important things that they spoke about. His visit to Ghana, these 4 days, is for a reminder. He wants us to learn from Eswatini, and they are here to learn from us as well. That's why they are having this kind of, discussions about Africa, how we can have stronger ties when it comes to trade and all that. After that, they moved to the Mensha Palace Museum so that they can go and see Gani. And if you see how this man talk, how he expressed himself with all his people, you can see that they've read the history of Ghana, they've read the history of Africa, they've read the history of the Ashanti Kingdom, so they know what they are here to see. But just that they visualize it, but they've not seen it with their physical eyes before. So when they came and they went to the museum, oh, it was all smiles.
It's our local language, meaning talking drums. These drums, before they are made, the king commissions a group. He gives them the right materials to produce these drums. So anytime they are beaten, they convey messages of the king to the people. Simple. The Asantehene sits on a chair, and she's also carried by 4 strong men, 2 in front, 2 at back. This time, our grandmother is carried on the head. Is carried on the head, is placed here, and she is carried on the head, telling you so many things. The woman owns the family. It is the woman that controls everything. It is only the woman who can rebuke the king in public when the king does something wrong. And the king seeks advice on the matter of governance. So our grandmother or our Asantehene is very powerful when it comes to the kingdom of Asante. Was put up by the British colonial government in the year 1925 for Nana Prempeh I. Nana Prempeh I was the 13th king of Asante. He was arrested by the British to Seychelles through Sierra Leone to Seychelles for 28 years. When he returned in the year 1924, this house was given him as up to 1974. Nana Prempeh I, the second, and the late king. So this house is the story. The downstairs is administration, the upstairs for their residence. So the first room we are about to enter was used by the late kings as their administrative office. Your Majesty, before we enter, this is the first colored painting to Asante nation. This is the 14th king of Asante. It was painted by a white Hungarian woman. This woman, the husband was in Kumasi, was working in Kumasi. So this woman was an artist who had paid a visit to the husband in Kumasi. So together with the husband, they were special guests to the king. So seeing how beautiful the king was dressed, and because there was no color printing, she took a picture of the office of the late kings. That is the decks, the throne, the old telephones used by them. Of course, we have the flag of Ghana, the old telephones used by them. Yes, and we have the decks. Your Majesty, we have the flag of Asante. The Asante is a nation before Ghana had the independence. So that was the flag of Asante. The colors yellow, black, and green. The yellow represents their money, rich in gold. The black, the strength of the people. The green, the fertility of the land. So together we say the rich black man in the forest. So that's the meaning of our flag. Your Majesty, on the wall we see the map of Asante. That was the ancient map of Asante before Ghana was born. Ghana is only 66 president. Your Majesty, we have the first television to Asante Nation, 1965. At that time, before you watch a television, you have to book an appointment. So that was the television. Your Majesty, at the extreme end, you have the black and white photo there. That is the Asante architecture. Asante started building their own house before colonization. So that's Asante architecture. So far, we have 16 Asante kings since the formation of Asante Kingdom. The current king is the 16th king. The one before us was the 14th king. Otumfuo Osei Tutu the second. He was king from 1931 to 1970. He was 39 years when he was installed and ruled for another 39 years. So he passed on at age 78 in the year 1970. Your Majesty, that is the sister, Nana Amasewenya, the 12th queen mother of Asante from 1945 to 1977. Your Majesty, in Asante tradition, anytime we see the Asantehene or the woman, the queen mother, and the king, they are not husband and wife. They can't marry. They are from the same royal family, blood related. So either mother and son, or a brother and sister. That were used to serve them. Your Majesty, you'll be asked to pick your own glass. But the glass you pick determines the drink the king offered. Your Majesty, you will not be told. As soon as you pick the big one, you'll be given water. But the small ones, you enjoy your champagne, your whiskey, telling you don't be greedy. Your Majesty. It was used as a dining room. In our tradition, the king dines alone. In those times, he dines alone. And we have this table and chairs, and we also have this object on the table, a family bowl. The Asante, I showed you Asante architecture. The Asante built the house, the compound house, in such a way that each house could accommodate between 2, 3, 4 families. So that during the evening's food, all the men in the same house will enjoy the meal together. Like 4 men in the house, my wife is done, the rest will join me, they will eat. Then all our wives will eat together, then our children will eat together. It was very difficult to poison somebody. Still working after 75 years. We've never changed the motto, we've never put the gas, it still works, Your Majesty. Yes. No, Uncle 10. It was a gift to Nana Prembe the second by a very fair Israel. Yeah. That is Asante textile, the Asante fabric. In Ghana, the one I'm wearing was made locally by Asante people. There is a village, a community in our kingdom that produces kente. And in those times, kente was specifically made for the royals. It's the royalty. And nobody was allowed to put on for Otumfuo Osei II, 1970 till 1999. It was during his time in the year 1995 that this old palace was turned into a palace museum when he was 70 to 25 years. Your Majesty, we also have the 13th Queen Mother of Asante, Nana Efiakobisewampe II. And one of the wars that Asante will never forget in their lives was fought in the year 1874. That was when the British brought their ammunitions and destroyed the entire nation. It was after they had taken our gold, our treasures, that is set the entire city Kumasi ablaze. And there had been several calls to bring the items back, but to no avail. Last 2-3 years, our king was a special guest to King Charles during his coronation. So after the coronation, our king had a meeting with the British Museum, Victoria and Albert Museum, and they decided to bring some of the items back to us, but on loan. On loan. Your Majesty, these are some of the things that we have brought. These are the creativity, the ingenuity of our forebears. Even though no formal education, that was what they were able to create so many years ago. It is exactly 151 years since these items were looted by the British. So, and the age of these items are more than 150 years, but they were being used before they were taken away. They thought by taking this sword, this is the sword in Pombosio sword. It's a special sword that every Asante chief uses to swear the oath of office before that person is accepted as a chief. So the reason they took this one away was that they wanted to deny us of our chieftaincy institution. But they didn't know that the creation of this sword is innate. So when they took this one away, we were able to create another one. That's why we have kept the institution thus far. So that is the Pombosio sword, very powerful sword that legitimizes somebody to become. Downstairs, I told you, one of the Asante kings was arrested to Seychelles for 20 28 years. Your Majesty, that is him. Otumfuo Osei the first. He was 18 years in the year 1888 when he became a king, the king of Asante. But at age 26 in the year 1886, he was arrested by the British to one of our towns in the central region, Elna Castle. Your Majesty, imagine the entire UK fighting, and Asante wanted to fight to protect our king. But the king said, it's better for me to go alone, but to destroy the entire nation. So he voluntarily offered himself. So he sacrificed. Right. They brainwashed him and got him baptized as a Christian into Anglican faith. So you see the cross giving him and the Bible giving him, so that when he comes back, he will not involve himself in our chieftaincy issues. But when he came back, he didn't want to involve himself in the kingship again. But as some people said, no way. For 28 years you were away, we kept your stool. So you continue to rule. So indeed, when he came from exile in 1924, Asante welcomed him back to Kumasi. Your Majesty, that is the cloth he was wearing. He wore on the day they formally welcomed him back to Kumasi. Your Majesty, that is the miniature ship that took him to Seychelles. Your Majesty, the history of Asante is incomplete without talking about this powerful lady. The lady that we are so proud of. She was the one who led the Asante to fight the last war against the British. When the king and the queen mother and the rest of the chiefs, the warriors, were taken to Seychelles, the British thought that that was the end of Asante Kingdom. So they came back demanding for the gold stool of Asante. Your Majesty, Asante has a symbol that identifies who we are. It is the blood, the soul, the spirit of Asante. Whoever touches the stool has touched the heart of Asante. So that was what the British were determined to take away. But all the men, Your Majesty, were afraid to stand the might of the British. It took the bravery of this woman, Nana Asantehene, who was 65 years in 1900, who said, no way. You've taken our king, we never fought. You've taken our warriors, we never fought. Now you have come back to take away our pride. To have you is going to boost the morale and the public perception about Nigerian policies. And since we have Your Majesty, we have small package. It's a book that we want the lady to present to you as to remind you. So.
Basically, that was what today's event was all about. They are trying to remind us that, hey, we are still Africans, even though we are living in a global village. Things are changing quick. Evolution. Kaba, you can see new clothes, new shoes, but we should make sure that we shouldn't forget our culture, where we hail from. Now, people, that there are some Ghanaians who can't even sing the national anthem and all that, and it is sad to see. So I want to see your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think you can put on cloth just like you casual wear every day? Do you think that is something that can come back, or there should just be an occasion? Maybe occasionally we put those things on, but when you come to everyday wear, do you think that is possible? Can we go back to 10 days? Let me see your thoughts in the comment section. But that is what basically is going on. And tomorrow there are going to be more of things that is gonna be involved in. They are going to have a grand debate on Friday. I think tomorrow they are going to have an event in KNUST. I'll bring you that update as well. So stay tuned with me, subscribe to the channel, and put us on post notification. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Put a like on this video. The name is IX Papi K. I'm out.